get started or how to grow your construction business using AI. Somebody asked me yesterday for the certification for the women owned or minority certification. Are you going to teach me how to start if I have never grown a construction business or if I have never been in this field? And I think that the first thing is, I feel personally that it would be a disservice if I didn't give you this information, because this information is also information that you can find on the internet, in all honesty. And what I'm going to tell you now is not only information that you can use to grow your construction business using AI, but really information that you can use to grow any business using AI. I think it's a positive thing if you are leveraging AI and you are in construction. I think it's very positive for you to know that construction companies are one of the ones that, it doesn't matter if it's big or small, that take the longest to actually incorporate new things. And with this specifically, what I mean is the big corporations hire people that do automations or workflows. The people on the top, whether it's the VP or the project manager or a top position, they don't even know what automations are being done for their company, believe it or not. They're usually busy looking for more bids or more contracts, or they're not really so concerned, which they should be, with automating their systems. And the small ones, still, many of them have no idea that they can actually use AI to leverage their time and grow. When I started talking about women in construction, I had an idea that this wasn't very well known, just because in this industry, making changes is something that takes time and takes investment. And many times, since you don't know, whoever is in charge of the growth doesn't really know how powerful AI can be or how powerful these automations can be, because what they think many times is like, what isn't broken, don't fix it. And I have been able to validate this idea with the comments and the questions that I have been getting on TikTok. And I say this, in full respect. It boggles my mind that somebody would think that when I say use AI to grow your construction business, especially men, they have been leaving comments like, don't be lazy, you go out and do the work. AI is artificial intelligence or language learning models, which basically have all the information on the internet that can help you speed up a proposal, a bid, a timesheet, a payroll. Imagine having like a huge group of employees. AI is not someone that is going to do field work. That is, I don't know how that came about, but basically what happened is that this validated my idea that in construction, one of the things that takes the most is really change. So, like I said, I have the list of questions that I will answer on today's Q&A. Hello, TikTok. How are you guys doing? If you just joined, I am doing a Q&A that I do on Thursdays inside of my community. And since a lot of my members still watch me on TikTok, I am doing it simultaneously so that if they're watching here, they get the answers to the questions. And likewise, if they are watching on inside of the community, then they can answer those questions throughout the week. I gather some of the questions that my members have, and I respond to them on this live. So one of the questions is, if I am just starting out in the construction industry, what field should I go in, or what niche, basically? So this question has two answers. The first one is, I'm going to be honest again. If you have no experience in construction, I am not the person that's going to tell you to go open a construction business. That makes absolutely no sense, because in construction, one of the most important things also, or one of the things that influence the most, is really, hello, Alma, welcome, my love, is really the relationships that you have, right, at the beginning. And also the hustle mentality that you have where you are really determined to make something grow. So if you are, persuaded, or if it sounds really attractive that you can make a lot of money in construction and that is your only pulling force, don't do that. Instead, do the same, practice the same principle that with AI, you can grow any business. So if I had experience in doing timesheets, or if I had experience in, even as a receptionist, answering calls, getting back to clients, sending emails, how I would look at that is I would create an automation, a workflow, which means that the company that would hire my service wouldn't have to hire an actual person, but it would be AI that answers the phone. And now you would be so surprised because you have no idea. You can't tell whether it's a real person or AI. So I would look into that automation. I would also look into an automation that has to do with follow-up emails, following up and sending um, uh, progress of the project that that company is working on. So let's say that you have, I don't know, administrative background, right? And that you've worked as a receptionist or as an admin for different companies. Since somebody is employing you and paying you to do certain tasks, that means that that company that is employing you and paying you to do certain tasks, those tasks are something that they can't live without. They need that. I would get very good at creating those workflows where they wouldn't have to hire an employee, but those would be workflows that I would implement into their company. And they would have a full working receptionist, AI receptionist, follow up, whatever they need. That would be my consulting service. And you can incorporate that into the construction field, because a lot of these companies, again, one of the things that they struggle with the most is paperwork, admin task, estimators, making sure that their billing is on time, making sure that their um, uh, payroll is correct, that their billing is on time. If they submit a bid, that they get back to clients. People call and ask for a service, and a lot of the work is lost because it takes a long time to respond back. And studies show that you can only, if you respond within the first few seconds, first few minutes, you have a high chance of winning the contract or the client, whatever it is. So that's what I would do if I had no experience in the construction field and decided that that was something that I would want to incorporate. Again, you can do this in any field. Any field that you're in, you can do this. If you're like, no, I definitely want to go into construction, but I have no experience, then this is where I would start, because that would give you an entry point, and it would also allow you to see what is really needed. And if one construction company needs it, chances are that the majority of them are going to need it. And I'm going to prove that to you. One of the questions that I received this week inside of our community was, I am looking for an admin, right? Somebody was hiring, a woman contractor in our community was looking for a recommendation for an administrative assistant. And the tasks are returning phone calls, returning emails, giving customers weekly follow-ups on their projects, permits, estimates, following up with estimates, social media. These are what is it called, like foundations of growing and scaling your business. Hold on, let me put do not disturb here on Facebook so that we won't get disturbed. Oh, it already has it. So this these are things that you can literally have in your business that are taken over by AI, right? As soon as you get a request for an estimate, you can have it to the point where the person puts the picture of their current, I don't know, if they're doing tiles, if they want a tile remodel, or to change the tiles or whatever it is, something simple. You can have it on your website to the point where the person inputs the picture of their current job, of what they want, the service that they want, the square footage, whatever information you need, and AI will create an after. So the person will visually see, wow, that is how my house would look, or that's how my new bathroom would look, or my new fence, or my garage door being repaired, whatever it is. And you can go as far as having them book an appointment They can even pay, I don't know, deposit if that's what you require, or they can pay for, if they agree for that service to be scheduled. You wouldn't do anything. You wouldn't even pick up a phone. So the same thing with even social media. If you are a construction business and you want to make a strong presence online, those are things that you can automate. And when I say incorporate AI, what I mean is, if you are competing with pricing, like cheap pricing, okay, the first thing that you need to understand is you probably don't really understand what your clients' pain points are. And your clients' pain points, not only in construction, but in any business, are your selling points. And basically, what that means is, I'm going to give you a perfect example, which is pretty cool. We did this for one of our members in the community, and she does bathroom remodels. And she was competing with for prices, right? Like, oh no, because I am losing jobs to other people that are lower pricing than I was. But her work was a little bit more considered like luxury. She also was insured, she was bonded, she had all this, everything was in order. Two things happened there. The clients that she was targeting really weren't clients that were going to pay for that service. They didn't value that she was insured or bonded. They didn't care. And that right there will tell you that that's not your ideal client. Because when you're competing for prices, really, it means that the people that you are serving, they could care less, right? But when you really understand your client's pain points, one of the things that made her have a spike in the amount of sales, meaning her sale increased. Instead of 2,500, it went to like 4,500, was just by making these simple changes. And listen to this, because I think this is pretty cool. When we did the study and we did this again using ChatGPT, it took us maybe 10 minutes. What are my ideal client pain points when somebody is having a bathroom remodel done? It's usually the woman that stays home. She hates the mess that they make. She hates the fact that they come in and out at any hours of the day, and that there is a lack of communication as the project is progressing. What did she do? Since the beginning, when she was giving somebody a quote, or somebody was getting a quote on her website, one of the questions was, do you prefer that? Is there any preference with regards to working hours? One of the things that she made very clear was that she held very high standards of cleaning, basically, right? That she assured them, that she assured the homeowner that that was one of the standards in her business. And the third one is that she, again, with AI, created an automation that allowed the person to get email almost daily. You can have daily, every 3 days or once a week, where it would tell her, the owner, the progression of the project. Because my client many times would leave the workers at the job site doing that, and then she would go to her other job sites, which basically meant that sometimes, she wasn't so available to be on the phone or things like that. Just that alone completely changed the client's experience. And when you do a good job in construction, you get 6 to 7 referrals. So just by doing those small changes, she really did stop competing with pricing. And it was more of like, since it's usually the women that stays home when they're doing a home remodel, it was more of, no, I really want to hire this person, because even if her price is a little bit higher, what she was offering offset that. Does that make sense? What she was offering was exactly what the person wanted. They didn't have to deal with dust, cleaning, workers coming in and out, her having to be worried about, she had to go pick up the children and leaving them there, the whole 9 yards. So that is very important, that you truly understand. And again, I say this in any type of business. It's not only construction, but in any type of business, you need to know your client's pain points, because those are going to be your selling points. And until you don't know that, you're going to compete in prices. And yes, there is some exceptions to the rules. If the projects are really big, many times contractors, obviously you don't want to come in the highest bidder. But if you do a good job and you start becoming known for the excellent work that you do, because the contractor doesn't want to have the headache of delays, of bad jobs, of employees quitting, of things like that, they don't mind. Basically, they're like, it doesn't matter. Hello, my love, Cindy. How are you? Hello, Diana. How are you guys doing? Thank you for the love. Thank you for joining. We're doing a little Q&A where I am answering the questions that were submitted inside of my community, and a little just chit chat like we have. I had a medical emergency this last week, not me, but Jose had, my husband, and it's been, you guys can see, it's been a crazy week to say the least, but um he's doing a lot better. He's not completely 100%, but he is doing a lot better. And honestly, something that I learned this week, which is a little bit, not construction related, but I couldn't just disappear, in the sense that I still had commitments and I still had to run a business. And it's been a long time since I had to go to job sites, right? That's not my favorite thing to do anymore. And this week, I had to go to the job sites. I had to make sure that everything was running correctly. I still had crews out in the street, in job sites. And something that helped me so much, I made a GPT, and I am able to voice note, like it reminds me every day, Vanessa, what project do you have out? How many hours? Just to keep on top of things. And while I was in the middle of this chaos, I was able to keep up with everything and even send invoices without opening my computer, because of that little automation that I did. So I was thinking, man, if not, I would have done it, but it would have been a hassle. It would have been like more stress added on to me. So, oh, thank you. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you so much. So this is what I mean when I say to use AI or automations. Next week, I start a certification process with 10 women that they're going to get their business certified. And the benefit of being certified is that you get, I've said this before, but basically, because the government or big, large private sector contracts need to have a diversity, inclusion, right? Whether it is small business, minority, disadvantaged, women, there's different ones, right? So let's say that your husband and you run a business. Even though you run it together, you can qualify for certain certifications that will put you in the pool of companies that big GCs need in order for them to get the contract. And I want to be super clear. The reason why they do this, it's not because they love small businesses or anything else. It's because otherwise they won't get it. It's because they won't. I'll answer you right now. It's because they won't get the contract. So one of the questions that somebody also asked was, will you show us how to start a business from scratch and how to get it certified? Yes. I'm going to take you through the whole steps up to the end, where you submit your certification package. I also got the question from Nancy, will you help me understand what it is that when you receive a bid, what it is that they're asking for you to do? And yes, we're going to do that as well. Glenda has a lot of experience in that, which is my co-coach. But I wanted to share with you guys something. Today I received a bid. And basically, it's just a solicitation for a bid, which means that once you start getting registered with these departments, they start sending you, oh, look, we're going to have a contract, and that contract falls into the scope of work that you registered for. Also, since my thing is like women empowerment, it doesn't matter what you do, you can get certified to work with the government. Like, it doesn't matter what you do. It's not about only in construction. So they will start sending you bids, basically solicitations. Okay, sorry. I just muted my mic so you guys don't have to hear the barking. So in it's something that a little tip in case you're in this industry or in any industry and you just want to see the bids, right, that are going on, is that if you go into I went into ChatGPT and I got the addendum. I just got, like, it tells you, I think this bid is in North Carolina. I'm going to share my screen for those of you that are inside of the community so that you can see, and I'll talk to you guys. I'll share with you on TikTok what it is. So I got a bid and it said housing agency marketplace, right? And that just basically means that it just basically meant that there's a bid in, I think, cleaning, right? And it was for, yeah, they just wanted people to, hold on one second, they just wanted people to bid on it, right, to put in their prices or whatnot. I didn't want to pay, here is the correct one, I didn't want to pay for the I lost my school. Okay, here. I didn't want to pay to get access to the documents. So all I had to do was go into ChatGPT, copy the name of the documents, and say, can you please find this bid online, scan the internet, and give me the documents? And it did. Here it is. If you guys are watching inside of the school community, you will see that here it is, right? It's I believe it's the Spartanburg area. And I think this is in South Carolina. So basically, it helps you download all the documents. And if you were like, oh, I have never started, or I don't know, honestly, this is my hustle mentality, right? You can't have any fear. It is what it is. The first thing that I did when I started incorporating AI was, okay, you're going to help me do the things that are hard for me. And I would get the documents from the bid and I would upload it to AI, and I would say, because I have it, since AI is my assistant, it knows exactly what I do, what business I do, the whole nine yards. And I would say, can you please read these bid documents? And I have no idea. I would say that. Explain this to me in a very simple manner, break it down. What do I need to know? What documents do I need? What are important deadlines? And create tasks so that I won't forget. And it basically read it to me. It will give you the square footage. What are they expecting? And then I would go even further and say, look for a similar bid that has been awarded and look to see if I can see the prices, because I want to be competitive. So that is another way that you can do that without having to go and hire a bid expert, because those are really expensive. Hello, welcome. Hi, boss lady. I love your username. Okay, so Diana says, did your husband start his construction biz solo at first without employees? If so, how long after did he get employees? Okay, so the answer to this question is no. Since we started, because part of what I do is remediation, and that is to clean up after there's hurricanes or major disasters or things like that, then I couldn't do it. We couldn't do it by ourselves. So we knew from the beginning that we had to hire people. And now I do a different, not a different scope, but I do a lot more different things. I do basically, I also do electrical, I do plumbing, I do HVAC. And when I say I do, it means that I partnered up with a plumber, I partnered up with an electrician, I partnered up with an HVAC, and they have the license, and I have the labor and the experience and the contracts. So I do other services without having anything else, right? Like I do other services. So yeah, that's how I did it. But if you are just starting out and let's say you can't have employees and you can do the job yourself, absolutely. 100% I would do it. 100%. And something else that I want to be super clear, because again, a lot of people on TikTok were like, oh, you can't do that as a subcontractor, or you can't do that without having this or that license. I always say I could never give financial or any legal advice. That's not what I'm doing. Really, my job is to empower you as a woman, and give you systems and help you grow your business and scale, and share with you what I did, right? That's what it is. At the end of the day, whether you take action or don't take action, it's only you. I can't go and take action for you. But everything that I do, one of the things that I never really tried to BS myself out of or play with was legal advice from an attorney, insurance, which includes general liability, workers' compensation, and payroll. Those are the things that really, anything that I do or have done, I make sure that my attorney reviews it and I am within the scope of law. My general liability, I rather pay more and be fully covered. With the same with workers' comp. Those are places that I'm not going to budge on. I'd rather take a smaller cut, like a cut on profit, because at the long run, I'm going to make more money if I continue to provide the service that I am providing than if I try to cut corners, especially with insurance or doing anything that you can't do legally. There's 100 ways that you can work around something, but those are the places where I would definitely 1,000,000% really be mindful of not trying to, and then your employees. My employees are my best asset. I know that. Without them, I have nothing. Yeah, they have to know that. Workers' comp is for the employees, because they're working at a job site that you got. So if anything happens, you have to have them insured. And when I say anything happens, listen, I've been doing this for such a long time that people will tell you, no, don't worry, nothing is going on. And there's protocols for you to follow, right? You should have a safety meeting. It depends, but I'm sure like if you're a general contractor or things like that, then you know this. And everything should be documented. Again, if you're like, Vanessa, oh my God, that sounds like a lot. Create a GPT and voice note to your phone. Today's safety meeting, these people were present. Send this as a PDF and let me print it out so that they can sign that they were present. Or, you don't have to physically do it on the computer. You can just voice it and you will get that. And it will even go and take it to a file inside of a Google Drive so that you can keep. People will tell you, no, don't worry. I'm not going to go to the doctor. Nothing is happening to me. And then a month later, you will get a lawsuit. When you have workers' comp fights for you. They fight for you. They want to make sure that the person isn't really faking any injury. I had a lady move a sofa, and she said that she had injured her back and that she couldn't walk, and that we knew from the beginning, because of where we were working and everything else and the amount of people that were there, that was impossible, like that she wasn't hurt. But it took a long time, but I didn't have to do anything personally. Workers' comp took over it, and they did all the paperwork, and they made her go to all the physical therapy and all of this. And at the end, after like a few months that she was doing all of that, she, I think they settled, or she got $500. It was like, she was like, this is too much, it's not going anywhere. Because the doctors are going to tell you, obviously, like, no, this is not that it's not a valid claim, but it depends on the severity, is how much they're going to pay you. And you don't want to go through all of that hassle. But again, this is not legal advice. This is just me chit-chatting with you guys with regards to how I was able to scale and how you can do the same thing. Something else that is very important was, if you have no experience, again, don't go for the highest thing, because you need capital. In construction, you will run out of capital quickly if you are underestimating your projects or what you're doing, or your materials or things like that. So don't go for the biggest thing if you are just starting out. It's better that you start building slowly and really stable, basically, than if you go in crazy. Something else that we decided to do, Because when I go all in on something, I go all in, and I was like, you know what? If this is not something of value and big, then I don't want to do it. It doesn't make me, it's maybe my ADHD, but I have to feel excited, right? I have to feel excited to create something. And what started to happen was I started to see that a lot of women in construction, they had like the same questions over and over again. And there were easy questions that I could solve. Like one of my members said, how do I um collect timesheets? Like, how can I create an automation for timesheets? She didn't necessarily say an automation, but she said, like, my biggest pain in the butt is collecting the timesheets and doing payroll. All you have to do, let me see if I can share it with you guys here in the screen. And I want to show you guys because I promised her that I would share it. So just give me a second. All you basically have to do, and this is exactly how I do it, is you go into ChatGPT. Hello, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the love and the gifts and all of that. So you would go into ChatGPT. Oh, I'm using my phone. And you would go, hold on, let me open the chat that I have already. Okay. So you would go, let me share this in the school community. You would go into ChatGPT. I'm going to show you guys right now. And you would just say, please read these timesheets and give me a CSV file. You can go as far as having an automation that will get the timesheets. Let's say your project manager sends the timesheets to you in a WhatsApp message every day. You get those timesheets, you put those timesheets, they go directly automated into GPT. That GPT reads them, creates a file. That file goes into a Google Doc. You can take it as far as the automation or the workflow, creating the invoice for you. And then you would just have to manually approve it. So a process that could have taken you an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours is something that could literally take you a click. You know, you just want to make sure that what you're doing, that it looks correct. I always make sure that it looks correct. So let me share with you guys my screen so I can show you exactly what I'm talking about. So you would just go in here and let's say that I just received timesheets. Let me see if I can show you guys. Is this my weekly timesheet? No, this is already my, let me see if I can show you guys a timesheet, and I will show you that it takes literally 1 second. Hi, Melly. Thank you so much. I love about to start my own thing. My son has experience in construction. Oh, that's amazing, Raquel. That is incredible. You can help him so much, so much. So let me show you. I'm trying to look for a timesheet so that I can just show you guys. Okay, I think this is a timesheet. So let me see. Yes. Please process these timesheets and create a CSV file. Make sure you are identifying okay, so let's see. I'm gonna see if I can. Well, I have to show you guys here. I have to go here. Hold on, because I got out of it. Let me show you guys. I want to start my own thing with my son. You should, absolutely. You should absolutely do it. Is it here? Where is it? Why do I keep on losing it? Oh, here. Okay. So I just uploaded, right? And it gives me all the names. It gives me all the names, the hours, the break time, and everything else that I need. And then it's going to give me a CSV file. It's just going to give me a CSV file. And with that file, I'm just going to copy it, copy the table, and I can input that into a Google Doc if I want to, a Google Sheet. I can do it by, I can ask this GPT to actually do it for me, send it into a Google Sheets, anything like that. And a process that would have taken you guys I don't know. Payroll for me is something that takes a long time. Just with a click of a button is something that it goes, you know? Open a corp, and I feel we didn't make the right decision. We haven't done payroll in months. Work is slow. What do you do? Thank you for the follow and the love, guys. Thank you so much. So this is a perfect example of how you can speed up your process, because I'm going to give you an example of why. Let's say that Roxanne is right now on TikTok Live, right? And she says, okay, I own a construction company and work is a little slow. If Roxanne stays stuck to her computer trying to organize the payroll and the admin work and all of that, how is she going to have time to look for bids or look for clients or market her products or create a visibility or get certified? Or she can't, because there's things that take precedence, and obviously paying your employees is one of them. So anything that is taking up your time that you can basically automate with AI, that is what you want to do, because that's going to give you time to be able to look into what you need more. Is it start working on getting a loan, capital, more clients, visibility, marketing, visiting job sites? Last week Q&A, I told you guys, if you go on ChatGPT and you put, please scan my, I live here, and please scan from here to a 25-mile radius and give me the information of all the new construction, commercial construction, medical buildings around me. ChatGPT not only gave you the exact address, the place, the name, the company that had it, the project manager. They even asked, and you guys saw this, if you want us to create an outreach message. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for the love and for the gifts and for everything else and for being here. Okay, we have about 20 more minutes. So this is what I want you to see, how easy it is. And again, something else that I will not get off this hill is, don't try to be a jack of all trades. You will make more money if you focus on one area and you become the best. And then after you have focused on that and you have become the best, you can expand. It doesn't matter. Who cares? But you already you're making money. Things are already, there's only growth from here. They already know you. Basically, your project manager, it will get to a point where a project manager will call you and be like, oh, we're starting tomorrow at this place, with regards to, like, they will even call them, hey, this is where we're starting tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. Then you can get into other things. But if you are trying to do bathroom remodels and tile, flooring, and interior painting, and I don't know, gardening or landscaping or garage door repair. To be honest, we were having this conversation a few days ago that I was invited, and you guys will see it. I was invited to, like, this panel of women in construction, which I had no idea. I had no idea that this was such a market of interest, basically, right? Since I started to share, you guys wouldn't believe, like, the amount of people that have been invited to, like, talk about this, the amount of people that decided they wanted a one-on-one with me. It's been kind of crazy. But going back to the point, we were talking about this, when somebody tells me they can do everything, the first thing that, as a homeowner, or if I'm going to hire you, I don't know. Think about it like if you are going to get plastic surgery. Remember last time we also chit chatted about plastic surgery, that I said I wanted a facelift in Colombia? If I want a facelift, I'm going to go to a plastic surgeon. And I'm going to try to find the best one. I'm not going to go to a cardiothoracic surgeon. And if I go to a doctor and the doctor's like, I can do your facelift, I can do your heart surgery, I can do your eye surgery, what are you going to do? You're going to run. And you're going to be like, no, hell no, I don't want that. It's crazy. The same thing goes. So first, if you are inside of the school community, there is a free project tracker that I created for you guys, where you go and you put, this is how much I'm charging, this is how much materials is costing me, this is how much time, what is my profit. And you're going to identify whichever one of the services that you offer that holds the most profit. And that's what you're going to become really specialized in. And as you do that, you're going to be able to charge more, probably work less with not trying to do 100 things, get known to be the best in that. And that allows you to also partner up with other GCs or create other relationships with other contractors that maybe do something different, but you're known for this specialty and you can partner up instead of you saying, I do everything. No, you don't want to do everything. I mean, again, this is just my opinion. My husband is a GC for his license last year. We opened Corp and it's been a ride. Yeah, it's going to be a ride. But listen, this is an industry, again, you guys, something else that I shared last week on our live that one of the reasons why I decided to share this was because it was like a nudge from God. Like I didn't want to share about this because I love coaching, right? Now I see that I've had the opportunity to coach inside of the Women in Construction Lab, and I'm so excited about it. But I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about construction because it was something that I was easy for me, and whatever. Now, this industry is a recession-proof industry, right? Obviously, if you like any other business, there's always something called growing pains, right? That's why when you know your client's pain points, you get to lessen, I guess, those growing pains because this when you talk to a client and you make their pain points your selling points, the time that they have to decide whether they want to hire you or not is minimized. Okay? Because you have addressed all the objections before they even came up. So you're like, oh, okay, wow, amazing. The reason why I say now is the time for you to really use AI or language learning models or automations or workflows is because that will allow you to destacarte. How do you say that in English? Position yourself at a higher value than someone that is still trying to do everything kind of the old way. Why? Just as simple as if my selling points are what you usually object to, and I have overcome those just by my marketing or my website or the how quick and efficient my estimating or my getting back to you is, in general, just by logic, it means I'm going to close more contracts. I hoping I can learn because Roxanne, thank you so much. I'm so happy that you're part of it. Yeah, I'm sharing everything that I can, that I know. My only suggestion is this. If you want to just chat, like if you want to just chat with me or listen to me, that's perfectly fine. But I would love for you, when you hear something or when something clicks a bell, go and try it. If you learned this training today about timesheets, try it out. If you, I gave a little gift in the community free, right? A custom GPT. And what it does is it tells you exactly what you can automate. And let me be clear, because I'm not sure, maybe I'm using language that maybe it's not really understood. And you're going to tell me in the comments if it is, okay? When we say automate, it means you go into ChatGPT and you say, hi, ChatGPT, I am Vanessa, and I own a construction company, and I specialize in this. Or I have been doing all these types of work, but I want to specialize in X. And I would like for you to ask me any questions that you need in order for you to be able to suggest how to automate my business so that I can leverage my time. When you put that into the GPT, it's going to tell you, okay, I don't know, it's going to ask you questions. What do you spend your most time on? What is where you need the biggest help? Blah, blah, blah. And it's going to give you a list of things that you can automate. You can even ask, my goal is to reach 100K within the next 6 months. I need help in marketing strategy. Or how are other businesses in my same niche or field or industry reaching 100K, and what can I implement now? And it's going to give you a list. This is usually what a coach does or a consultant does. And this is what somebody is going to charge you 5,000 or $10,000 to give you. And you can do this free if you go and you do it like that. That's what it is. The community is a monthly fee of 197. The women in construction event, I'm not sure. No, my community right now is $7. And the certification program for to get certified is 197 because it's a pilot program, which means I just need to get a group of people, get them certified, get them in our network so that I can use that as testimonials that it works, and then it goes up to 597 and like that. So this is exactly what I mean when I say, yeah, there's probably growing pains at the beginning, but there's ways to work around it. Oh, I usually try to go live. I say that one uh once a day, usually at 11, but this week my husband was in the hospital, so it was like a crazy week. I usually go live on Thursdays inside of the community for an hour from 11 to 12. Absolutely. Yeah, give those things a try. And you don't have to go big. Yesterday somebody commented on my uh that 197. Do you recommend me to join that 197? I do. Actually, I do. I'm going to tell you why. Because it's going to give you, so usually, and you can go and research this. I don't care. There's, this is very cheap to help somebody get certified. Usually somebody's going to charge you 2,000 or 1,500 or $600. That means they're going to help you put paperwork together so that you can submit it. And then you would have to pay the fee of whatever certification you have. I wanted to make sure that this was something that would, because if I gave amazing results, it would allow our community in general to grow. So what we did was like, okay, we're going to take them from start to finish. It is 10 weeks. We are going to help them with bids, the templates, all the certification that they need, all the documents, get everything together, help them submit the documents. And then I told Glenda, yeah, but after you get certified, there's a lot of people that get certified and they don't do anything they don't do anything with it. So Glenda has a huge network of contractors and GCs, and so do I. So we were talking and I was like, Glenn, what if the women that go through our certification, what if we start like a network where we can connect them with GCs that need their service and in the city that they're in? So I was like, okay, let's do that. So like that's really creating an impact, right? Because I if we want to change the numbers of women that are in construction, right? And if I want to make this really big, then it would have to be that the people my members get really good value, like they see the results. It's not, for that I just coach. So what we decided to do was like, okay, we're going to start from 0 to 10, meaning the whole process. And then we, on our end, start reaching out to GCs that we know so that we can start telling them, listen, we have women here that are certified, that they do this job, that they do this in this city, so that we can connect them. Because I think that that's real impact, right? Like, oh my God, yes. So I can't guarantee it, but that's what we're going to be working on. My goal is that eventually they're going to come to us and say, hey, do you have this women owned business or that does electrician or plumbing or HVAC or masonry or concrete or whatever it is? I need it for this bid. So no, it doesn't matter. It's all through Zoom. It doesn't matter. That certification that goes through, it's 10 weeks where we go through the process of automations and getting all your documents and everything ready. And it helps you choose what certification you want and submit it, right? So that you start getting certified. Usually certification takes sometimes 4 weeks, because there's different ones. There's local, there's state, and there's federal. We're going to go through all of them. You can decide to apply to all of them. It doesn't matter. But they come, the local is the shortest, then the state takes a little bit longer, and then the federal usually takes 8 to 12 months. But you have to submit the documents in order to get in line, basically. Does that make sense? Like, you have to submit it. Otherwise, you'll never get certified, basically. So they yeah, I want, after you get your certification, I want you to be able to do something with it and not just be like, okay, I got it and now what? So really to be able to do something with it. Different certifications. There is minority, there is women owned business, there is disadvantaged business, there is SSA, which is small, it's considered small business to the federal government. And we're going to go into detail as to what is which one, right? Because you need to know if you're going to do if you're going to do women, then you have to be 51% owner. If you're going to do small business, then you can't make, I believe, have made over 3 million. I believe it's 3 million. So that you can find 100% if you have to go private, WBNEC, but you're going to know. And how we did it was, this new company, I'm going to go for 8 certifications. It's ridiculous in the sense that you don't need all 8, but I started filming this week so that next week when we start, you guys see the exact process. Like, look, this is how I did it. This is how you should do it. And then my goal is that you do it with us, the work. So if you have any questions, you can be like, oh, okay, how do I do this? Or what document do I need? Or do I need a template? Or do I submit this? Don't join if you're just gonna be like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Then don't, because I really want you to have the éxito so that I can literally say, this is what happens. Does that make sense? Not just to like leave it. Let's see, what other questions did I get? Oh, okay, somebody in my community, a member, she is a GC, and again, she was looking for to hire an admin, right? And she wanted tasks as returning phone calls, returning emails, giving customers weekly follow-ups on their projects, permits, estimates, following up with social media, Facebook particularly. So I told her, okay, you can do all of this using AI, which means she will wake up, open her computer. If this is already a task that is programmed every day or every 3 days or every whenever she wants, their clients will get like a status of the project, of how they're doing and how it's going. You can have an AI receptionist, which literally answers your calls and sends emails and estimates. All of this basically can be done with workflows and automations. So I asked her, okay, you can hire someone and teach them, or you can create these automations and workflows and not have to hire someone, or you can have a hybrid, right? Like where you're like, okay, these things, I want to try them out automated to see how it goes. And then these things are things that I want somebody physically to be able to do. So you can do both of them, especially like the social media. That was something that I would probably at least start out automated, in the sense that unless you are obviously like the filming, somebody would have to do, right? If you want to show like a work project or your work or your behind the scenes, the filming would be something that you would have someone do. But the actual editing, believe it or not, now you just upload it to Obvious, or there's hundreds of them, and they cut it out for you. They create a vlog, and then you can automate that. There's a app called Blotato by Sabrina, and this woman is I'm in her group. She is a brilliant mind with AI. She created a company and sold for millions of dollars, and now she just shares her knowledge. And she created a automated social media posting app. So you can upload it there and it will post for you on YouTube Shorts, on Facebook, on Instagram, on whatever. So really, you can do all of this that she's looking for someone with automations and workflows. And then the only difference is you would have to see, okay, what do I want to train someone in doing this? or do I want to hire someone to do these workflows and automations for me, or do I want to learn how to do them myself and um, get them done? So really, that would be like the decision that she would make more than anything, or she can go through a hybrid. Yeah, Kathy, it's exactly what I am talking about. You can see it if you go into the page, you'll see like what it's about, and um helping you scale with AI and things like that. So you will be able to, this is really what it's about. Like, you make the decision on what it is that you want to do, and then you start moving from there. And again, if you are like, oh, I'm out of ideas, or I don't know how to market or how to get more clients, something that's easy is just, how did you get your last client? Did it come from a referral? Did it come from any advertising? Did it come from any marketing? How did that happen? Oh no, it came from a referral. Okay, so if you are getting referrals, that means that you're doing a really good job, because referrals is the hardest type of, word of mouth is the hardest type of referrals to get. It's very hard, especially in construction, because you have to have done an excellent job for somebody to willingly refer you. Because just based on psychology, we will share a negative experience, but not so much a positive one. So if that was my case, I would be really aware of the person that referred me, and make sure that they either that I reach out with a thank you, or send them an email, or give them a little incentive or a little discount, things like that. People are busy these days, and you want to stay top of mind, right? You want to be persistent. You want to be stay top of mind. If it was through the website or through any other type of marketing, whatever worked, you want to repeat it and scale it. You want to repeat it and scale it. So that's it. Okay, our Q&A is over. I hope that you guys like that. If you are in the certification, we start on Monday. I believe we are sold out. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe we are. I'm excited for you guys to go through this. If you want to see any like workflow or any automation in action, let me know. I am going to create the timesheets and the payroll one into a Google sheet, because I know that you guys asked me for that one. But we can also create like a AI receptionist or a before and after estimator, so that your clients can go on the website, book your service, or see how much it would be, before and after pictures. It sounds a lot. It's not a lot at all. It's not a lot at all. And yeah, that is it. I will see you guys on Monday for those that are joining me, and I will see you guys tomorrow for those that are in our community. I always go in and check the messages. I have your checklist. I will post it probably, or email it to you guys a little bit later on today. I still have a few things that I have to finish here, but you will get that, and you can start looking over it. And that is it. I will see you guys